Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Bring you our NFL Week 4 preview between the Arizona Cardinals and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now let's take a look at some keys to victory for both teams, starting with the Cardinals. The Cardinals have the offensive weapons to be successful. It's up to the offensive line and Carson Palmer doing a better job, number one, versus pressure and also versus the blitz. Now, versus Tampa Bay, I look for Arians to have that patented tight end wham play in effect versus an over-aggressive defensive front in Tampa Bay, and that could actually jumpstart the running game, which could then jumpstart the play-action pass. Defensively, the Cardinals play fast and they play aggressive, both of which causes them to get out of position at times, and it leads to big plays downfield. Now, this week versus Tampa Bay, they're facing a rookie quarterback, so look for a more run-based offensive approach versus the Bucs, and getting Dan Williams back should help them versus those power run plays and belly plays that the Bucs love to run. Now let's move over to Tampa Bay in this ball game, and they're now making the move to Mike Glennon, whom I think is a poor man's version of Josh Freeman. They're going to have to get him in a groove early throwing the football, and I would guess the Cardinals will take chances versus the short and intermediate passing game, so look for Glennon's groove could come as big plays downfield as a result. And defensively, I like the way the Bucs match up in the secondary versus the Cards, and the key will be, can they get to Carson Palmer? Another key to this ball game will be how well the defensive ends box in the running game, allowing the linebackers to play downhill instead of sideline to sideline. I'm a big fan of the Cardinals passing game, and I think this week versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they can have some big plays over the middle of the field by influencing the linebackers. And I'm going to show you how they can influence the linebackers with a simple concept we like to call on-the-fly reading. So it's going to require Carson Palmer to read the flat defender on the fly, because honestly, the flat defender will tell Carson Palmer where to go with the football. And the reason why, you just draw backer here. So at the snap of the ball, what we have, both outside receivers are running 13-yard curl routes. Boom. So you already know you have curl routes on the outside. Now on the inside, we have the running back checking blitz, coming over the middle. That's his job, to hold this backer. So while we say he has to read the flat defender, which is the tight end will tell you right off the bat, if the backer that's over him, if the backer flies this way, it's man, you know where to go with the football. You can go here with the curl, or you can go over the middle where we have the receivers streaking down the middle. Now, versus man, the receiver will continue to streak down the middle, and that's where you want to go with the football. But if there's two safeties back deep and it's zone, breaks to the middle of the field to try to beat the zone, try to split both safeties. So that you can tell that is zone if the backer starts to buzz underneath this curl. So that tells you he can go with the flat defender, or he can hit the big play over the middle of the field. But we're holding the middle linebacker because we have the crosser by the running back after he checks blitz. So you can see where Carson Palmer can hit big plays in the passing game this week versus Tampa Bay. Reading the flat defender, if this guy buzzes out man, boom, you want to hit this curl, or you want to hit the wide receiver streaking down the middle of the field. If it's zone, if he buzzes underneath the curl, then you want to hit the guy over the middle, or you want to check to one of these different flat routes, or your over route with the running back in the backfield. They've done a great job hitting the backs in the backfield this week. So again, it's all about reading on the fly. And if Carson Palmer and the Arizona Cardinals can influence the linebackers in the passing game, they can have some big plays downfield this week versus the Buccaneers. One play defensively that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will have to be alert for this week versus the Arizona Cardinals is the wheel route. The Cardinals have run the wheel in each and every ball game to success. Big plays downfield, down the sideline to the running back. And here's how Tampa Bay can better position themselves for that play. What's going to happen, they're going to try to spread the field and influence the safeties to get over the middle of the field. So it's up to these guys, the nickel back and the linebacker, to communicate, as well as with the free safety. They're going to all have to communicate when they see the running back going in motion, or when they alert the down and distance type situation, to where the Cardinals are more likely to run the wheel route. If you see Andre Ellington in the backfield, 9 times out of 10, you be alert for the wheel route. So if he goes in motion, let's just say they put him in motion, and they're going to snap the ball right here, thus creating a bunch concept. Now, if I'm the nickel guy, I'm telling the middle linebacker, switch. So now he's going to have to get this guy bumped, slow this guy down so the free safety can pick him up. He's going to pass the slot guy off to the free safety. Why? Because the nickelback, even without following the back in motion, his job is now to get the running back. So this is how you effectively spin the wheel in your favor. So at the snap of the ball, when this guy runs a split route, the linebacker is going to get the bump, pass him off to the free safety. Now the free safety can take this guy deep. We have the corner manned up on the receiver who's going to run the slant. And now at the snap of the ball, you're going to see the running back run downfield. Now the nickelback is able to get over top. So that's how Tampa Bay can spin the wheel in their favor, communicating linebacker, nickelback, free safety. Everyone has a guy, pass guys off, talk to each other, and that way you'll be able to slow down one of the biggest plays the Cardinals have in their passing game.
The X factor for the Cardinals will be defensive coordinator Todd Bowles. He's facing a rookie quarterback in Mike Glennon, and it'll be interesting to see what he draws up this weekend versus the Bucs. The obvious X factor for the Bucs will be rookie quarterback Mike Glennon and what he can do to keep the offense on pace and avoid the negative play. He's going to have to protect the football because they do have some ball hawks back there in the secondary for Arizona. Now here are some coaching points for both teams in this ball game. For Arizona, you want to sustain drives. They had a great first drive last week versus New Orleans. Couldn't stay on the field throughout the course of the game. That has to change this week versus Tampa Bay. And you have to control the line of scrimmage on defense. We know Tampa wants to run the football downhill, so you have to control the line of scrimmage. They played without Dan Williams last week, and he's probably going to return this week. And although Alameda Tiamahu played exceptionally well versus New Orleans, they missed a guy like Dan Williams on the interior. And the backs in the passing game, I think that's an advantage that the Cardinals can exploit. So look for offensive coordinator Harold Goodman to find creative ways to get those backs isolated on linebackers. And for the Bucs in this game, they have to avoid the big bad play that has plagued the Buccaneers throughout the course of the season. One of the reasons why they're sitting at 0-3 instead of 3-0. This could be a football team that could be undefeated if they avoid the big bad play. And they have to stay physical. I love the way they play football on defense. They're a physical bunch. Offensively, they want to run downhill and attack you. And they're even physical with their wide receivers in Mike Williams and Vincent Jackson. And I would send an extra player at Carson Palmer. Here's a guy that still doesn't do well versus the blitz. Send extra, force a quick decision, rally up, make the tackle, get off the field. I like the Cardinals in this ballgame, and not only due to the fact that Tampa is starting a rookie quarterback, I like the Cardinals because of their offensive attack and their ability to create matchup problems. And I think what they're going to do is spread out the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and force these guys to make plays in open space. I think that's where the Cardinals have the advantage over Tampa, and I think that's how ultimately they win the game, aside from getting pressure on a rookie quarterback that was thrown into the lineup midweek. And I also want to give a huge shout out to Cardinals fan forums and Buccaneer fan forums for always showing football game plan support.